Local boards work with community partners, identifying and addressing workforce development issues in the individual communities that they serve. Today, 25 local board regions exist in the province of Ontario. Funded by the Ministry of Training, Colleges and Universities, local boards are independent, non-profit organizations made up of more than 450 volunteer directors from all sectors.
Workforce development, economic development planning has been at the local level. It's engaging the stakeholders, the organizations, the people in your area to be committed to a plan. You rely on the agencies such as the Workforce Development Board to take a big part of your strategy and help deliver it for you.
The Labour Market Group in North Bay has been working hard over the last number of years to develop some partnerships with local groups and organizations, including companies, really to address and identify what some of the main challenges are with the labour market, and then of course more importantly identifying some of the solutions to some of those challenges.
To ensure effective workforce planning, local boards utilize the Trends, Opportunities and Priorities process to identify local labor market issues. Based on information gathered from consultations with community partners, an annual top report is published, which outlines a strategic plan of action to address key labor market issues in the region.
Well, for a number of years we've been involved with the community consultations in preparation for the TOPS report. We've used that report in terms of information, local information, or for service planning. We have a mix of rural and urban, so you have to really, in service planning, take those different needs into consideration when you're planning. I think that the TOPS report does a good job of covering the large geographical area.
New to the report is a series of detailed labor market indicators generously provided by the Ministry of Training, Colleges and Universities.
Very, very essential is the research and the data, to substantiate the walk, the talk. Here is the actual numbers that represent the labor in the area, and or the weakness, and where you have to develop new programming and put on your running shoes and go after a few initiatives in terms of enhancing or building up a particular weakness and addressing it. So the Labour Force Board covers all those aspects.
The Labour Market Group obviously plays a huge role here locally in terms of bringing some of that data and awareness really to the community about what the main challenges are.
The local intelligence contained in the top report is of great value to stakeholder groups, local economic development agencies, and all levels of government.
When you're doing economic development, essentially what you're trying to do is to create wealth and to create jobs. An important part of that is the labor component. And it is critically important as businesses are trying to make decisions about the types of investments they want to make, whether those are investments for expansion or if you're attracting new businesses, they need to have an understanding of the labor market. They need to understand its composition. They need to understand the trends on where it's going in the future. They need to be able to understand the types of resources that they can count on, the kinds of resources they're going to have to invest in, or the kind of resources they're going to have to develop. And so the work that's being done provides that tool to the business community. I think it's an important one, it's a critical one, and it's one that's going to make a big difference in our area.
In 2008, 7 new labor market planning committees were formed as part of a pilot project.
What we do matters. How we lead matters. Where we put our time, talent, and resources matters. I need to be bold in my choices and moving and forward thinking in my planning to position my organization's workforce to best meet the challenges of the future. Now, that's something I can be excited about.
It's not about where we are today, but rather it's about taking the necessary steps to move us to where we want to go and need to be.
The committees worked with the boards to develop a long-term integrated local labor market plan. Their goal was to ensure that each community's labor market plan matches their future economic needs.
You talk about green technologies and things that are here and will be growing. And the questions become, can we supply the workforce that's ready to take advantage of those opportunities and help the economy grow? That's where a solid labor market plan helps to drive home the decisions that need to be made to align yourself to be successful.
It's important to have an understanding of what's happening on the ground. To try to develop a plan in isolation of what's happening on the ground, or in isolation of having an understanding of the linkages that exist in a particular region and in a community, won't deliver you as good a product as one where you reach out and work from the bottom up.
The labor market is in a perpetual state of flux as a result of demographic trends, economic patterns, and new technologies. The need for local boards is as pressing today as it was more than a decade ago. In the past 10 years, over 1,200 partnership projects have been undertaken with more than 2,500 different community organizations. These innovative projects produce effective results and measurable outcomes for the communities that they serve.
Canada is going to be competitive on a knowledge-based economy. When we can bring knowledge to our processes, and then we can out-learn, we can out-train, and we can have more knowledge than our competitors. That's what we need to do. And governments are doing that at a national level, and we can do that at the local level, and the combination of the Workforce Development Board and an economic development organization like the GPA EDC is critical to our success.
To learn more about workforce development projects in your region, please visit the local board's website.